Ladies and gentlemen, listen very intently because what I am about to reveal to you is deeply unsettling and absolutely vital for you to grasp. There occurs a very particular moment when an individual does not merely behave in a damaging or poisonous manner, they actually transform into devastation itself. When a narcissist entirely surrenders to the shadows, when they discard any concept of morality, and when they candidly embrace brutality, that is the instant they step over a threshold most people cannot even conceive exists. Pay close attention to this. You see, many people view evil as something theoretical, metaphorical, or only found in fiction. But no, evil is very tangible. It operates through people. It gradually entices them, tugs at them, and seizes authority piece by piece until they cease resisting entirely. Narcissists are the ideal vessels for this because their whole existence is constructed on falsehoods, exploitation, and an unquenchable craving for dominance. Now, here is what you must plainly comprehend. This is not about being conceited, ego-driven, or greedy. This goes far beyond that. This is something much bleaker and far more perilous. When a narcissist hits the point of no return, when they finally abandon whatever compassion they once possessed, you will begin to observe three very distinct indicators. These are not trivial habits. These are not temperament flaws. These are grave warning signs. These are loud sirens that reveal something truly sinister has taken command. If you fail to perceive them, or if you decide to disregard them, you are walking directly into the clutches of someone who no longer governs themselves. Someone who has exchanged their humanity for something far grimmer. Think about this intensely. Have you ever encountered someone who siphons the vitality from every room they enter? Someone who seems to thrive on the agony of others, and someone who maneuvers people with such icy and surgical precision that it almost feels robotic? That is not typical behavior. That is not common instability. That is someone who has moved far past the boundary. And here is the harsh reality. Once they cross that line, they do not return. You cannot reason with them. You cannot talk logic into them. You cannot salvage them because they do not desire to be saved. They have preferred falsehoods over truth, ruin over progress, and dominion over affection. If you permit them into your world, if you engage in their schemes, or if you imagine you can outmaneuver them, you are putting yourself in grave peril. So listen carefully, because I am going to show you the three frightening signs that a narcissist has completely surrendered themselves to malice. If you identify even one of these traits in someone near to you, you need to depart, walk away, escape, and safeguard yourself. You are not dealing with a complicated person. You are not dealing with someone who simply requires assistance. You are dealing with something far more lethal. There was a time when they lurked behind a facade and feigned being virtuous. There was a time when they attempted to persuade people that they were honorable, that they cared, that they still had some human sentiment remaining inside them. But that era is finished. Because when a narcissist fully submits to the darkness and delivers their soul over to malice, they do not just inflict pain anymore. They actually relish it. And that is where the true horror starts. Initially, the transformation is minor. You begin to detect a change in how they act. They do not just dispute with you anymore, they ridicule you. They do not just mislead you, they find gratification in the turmoil they generate. There is an eerie sense of ease in their gaze when they observe someone collapse, a smirk when they witness sorrow, and a flash of thrill when they know they have shattered someone's poise or made them doubt their own sanity. Most people wound others because they are resentful, terrified, or stressed in a moment of frailty. But these people wound others because they choose to. They do it because it nourishes them, because the misery of others provides them a sense of authority that nothing else can supply. That is how you know this is no longer just a character flaw. This is evil actively in motion. Observe their facial expression the next time they humiliate someone, the next time they lie just to make you mistrust yourself, or the next time they purposefully hurt someone's feelings. Do they appear remorseful? Do they seem conflicted or puzzled, or do they look amused? Do their eyes brighten with a warped sense of fulfillment? Do they lean in, waiting to see the psychological havoc they have caused? If so, you are no longer dealing with a human being who still possesses a heart. You are dealing with someone who has decided to forsake it. And here is what makes it even more terrifying. They do not only enjoy hurting people they dislike. No, that would be too basic. They do it to everyone. Friends, family, partners, even their own offspring. The closer someone is to them, the more powerful they feel when they demolish them. That is why nothing you do is ever sufficient. You can give them all your allegiance, your love, your work, and your commitment, and it will still not appease them. They still want to see you in distress. They need to see you suffer because, in their perspective, pain is like wealth. Power is measured by how much they can wreck. If they can snap you, if they can muddle you, if they can make you question what is factual, then they feel they have triumphed. And the grimmest part is this: they will do it repeatedly. There is no halt. There is no moment where they suddenly stop and think they have gone too far. That moment never arrives. It never comes. So pay close attention. Look at their face. Look at the way they grin when someone else is suffering. Look at the dark shadow that appears in their eyes when they know they have inflicted damage. That is not normal. That is not human conduct. If you believe they will ever reform, or that one day they will wake up feeling sorrow or embarrassment for what they have done, you are mistaken. They used to conceal their deceits. They used to hide their path with narratives that contain just enough honesty to make you doubt yourself. But now, they do not even bother masking it anymore. They do not need to. They have reached a point where reality is simply whatever they claim it is in that instant. They lie incessantly without dread, without pause, and without even a hint of shame. And the most chilling part is that they truly believe their own fabrications. You could place undeniable validation right in front of them. Written proof, clear data, witnesses, and none of it would matter. They will look you straight in the eyes and tell you it never occurred. They will tell you that you are mistaken. They will tell you that you are the issue. And they will say it with such poise and conviction that for a fleeting moment, you may actually question your own recollections. That is how deep this goes. That is how potent their manipulation has become. This is not just lying anymore. This is about wiping out reality itself. They rewrite the past while it is occurring and expect you to accept it without protest. If you refuse or try to resist, that is when they turn everything against you. Suddenly, you are the unstable one. You are the deceiver. You are the person who cannot be trusted. They distort the narrative so fluidly and so effortlessly that even those who witness the truth begin to doubt what they saw. This is how they govern the story. This is how they maintain their grip. They do not just manipulate people. They manipulate existence itself. And the more they succeed, the bolder they become. They begin pushing boundaries by telling lies that are so extreme and so blatantly false that you think there is no way they could believe them. But they do. And if they do not, they force themselves to. Because once a narcissist reaches this level, the truth no longer carries weight. The only thing that matters is the version of events that serves them the most. This is where it becomes truly alarming. They do not just lie about what they have done, they lie about who they are. Their entire persona is manufactured. One day they are the victim, the misunderstood individual who has endured so much and been treated unfairly by everyone. The next day, they are the champion or the savior, the one who has always been correct and always tried their hardest. They alternate between these personas flawlessly, shifting into whatever version will fetch them the most pity, acclaim, or control. If you ever try to unmask them or tell people the truth, prepare yourself because they will sabotage you before they ever allow that to happen. They will turn everyone against you. They will make you look like the fraud, the manipulator, or the irrational one. And the worst part is that most people will believe them. By the time you try to speak up, they have already sown the seeds, already broadcasted their version of the story, already altered the past. Once their version of reality takes root, there is almost nothing you can do to shift it. At first, they simulated caring, they mirrored emotions, they performed the role of someone who felt guilt or sorrow. They acted like they were apologetic, but now there is nothing left. No hesitation, no second thoughts, no sense of right and wrong. They wound, they betray, and they ruin while feeling absolutely nothing inside. Observe them intently. When most people cause injury, they carry the weight of it. They might deny it or try to defend it, but deep down there is something inside that knows the truth. It keeps them awake at night. It makes them wonder if they crossed a line. But for a narcissist who has fully surrendered to the darkness, that feeling is completely absent. They do not lose sleep, they do not pause, they do not doubt themselves. They take what they desire. They break whoever obstructs them, and they move forward as if nothing ever occurred. If you confront them or try to show them the wreckage they have caused, they will stare at you with vacant eyes, completely detached. Or even worse, they will smirk, entertained that you still believe they have a heart or that you think they can feel regret. They will watch you weep. They will watch you suffer. And the only thing they will feel is contentment. In their mind, if you are in pain, it means they have won. What makes this even more dangerous is that they are no longer constrained by the boundaries that stop normal people. The fear of penalties is gone. The shame of being revealed does not exist. They never feel the burden of guilt. That is why they get worse. That is why the damage they cause keeps expanding. Their betrayals become more grave because nothing is inhibiting them. They break trust without thought. They manipulate without pause. They ruin reputations without remorse. They steal, they cheat, they lie, and they burn connections, not because they must, but because they wish to. They find power in destruction. And every time they get away with it, they feel more invincible. Here is the terrifying reality. They do not care who they harm. It does not matter if you are a friend, a lover, a child, or a parent. If standing in their path means you must be sacrificed, they will do it. If ruining you assists them in any way, the decision is already finalized in their mind. They will look you straight in the eyes and tell you they love you. And in that same moment, they will plot your downfall without feeling even a trace of guilt. To them, the world is nothing more than a game or a combat zone. There are only victors and losers, and they will do whatever it takes to ensure they never lose. When someone has no guilt, no regret, and no heart left, nothing is forbidden. They no longer just maneuver people. They maneuver reality itself. Their control is no longer just mental or emotional. It almost feels surreal, as if they have learned how to warp what people perceive and distort the truth right in front of them. They pull the strings of everyone around them with chilling precision. They do not just lie haphazardly. They plan every syllable. They plan every action, every pause, every silence. Every delay is engineered to force others to submit to their will. The most frightening part is that most people never detect it happening. It starts small, with a minor shift in tone, a quiet glance, or a perfectly timed hesitation. They know exactly how to make you doubt yourself and question your own logic. They plant ideas gradually. They drop suggestions. They leave just enough doubt to make you wonder if your instincts are flawed. Once they get you questioning yourself, they have dominion because now they own the narrative. It does not stop with words alone. They control the mood. They control the energy in the room. When you enter a space with them, you can feel it instantly. Their presence dominates even when they are silent. They lead conversations with a look. They can make someone feel worthless with a single stare, or make someone feel powerful with the right praise at the right moment. They do not just comprehend how people think. They turn that insight into a weapon. What makes it worse is that they know how to make their victims rely on them. They create turmoil. They break a person down piece by piece. Then they step in and act like the sole source of safety and relief. One moment they push someone to their breaking point. The next moment they play the hero, acting like they are the only one who can repair the damage they caused. This is not just manipulation. This is psychological entrapment. They play people against each other with terrifying simplicity. They whisper half-truths. They plant suspicions that spread silently and grow like venom. Before you realize what is occurring, they have turned allies into enemies and partners into competitors, all while sitting back and watching the destruction unfold. When everything fails, they always position themselves as the victim or as the misunderstood one that everyone seeks for answers. If you think you can beat them at their own game, think again. While you are reacting, they are already several steps ahead. While you are trying to justify yourself, they are already preparing the next lie. They do not play fair. They do not follow standards. They create the rules. And the moment you think you understand them, they change the game entirely. They are not just manipulators. They are architects of fantasy. They do not simply lie. They reshape reality itself to fit their distorted version of the truth. Once they have pulled you into their net, once they have rewritten the story so many times that you can no longer tell what is genuine, they know they own you. That is when their dominance is total. There was a time when they feigned being good. They wore a cloak of morality and acted as if they respected integrity, decency, and truth. They spoke the right words and played the role of someone who cared about doing the right thing. But those days are gone. Now they do not just reject virtue. They openly ridicule it. They do not just ignore faith. They detest it. If you pay close attention, you will see it in the way they speak, in the way they behave, and in the way they react to anything wholesome or meaningful. They do not simply avoid the truth, they assault it. They mock people who live with honor. They laugh at those who try to do what is right. They pull down anyone who believes in honesty, love, or faith. They do this because deep down the truth unmasks them. Faith reminds them of what they can never become. Goodness holds up a mirror they cannot bear to look into. So instead of facing it, they try to demolish it. Instead of improving themselves, they try to corrupt everything around them. Watch them closely. The moment someone speaks about honor, love, duty, or truth, they roll their eyes. They sneer. Goodness annoys them. They cannot stand being near anything pure because it emphasizes how hollow they are inside rather than trying to grow or become better. They would rather tear everything down. They would rather drag others into shadow than admit that light exists. They laugh at the idea of being held responsible. They mock the thought of results. They dismiss the idea of a higher power seeing through their deceits. They act as if they are untouchable, as if they answer to no one, as if they are their own deities. That is when you know they have crossed the line. When someone believes they are above accountability, there is nothing they will not do. Here is the chilling part. They do not just abandon goodness within themselves. They try to ruin it in others. They test you. They push your limits. They pressure you to surrender your values. They mock your beliefs and try to make you feel foolish for having standards. They want you to break because the weaker you become, the more power they acquire. The moment you stand your ground and refuse to yield, you will see their true face. The charm vanishes, the mask drops away, and what remains is something cold, bitter, and aggressive toward goodness itself. They erupt in rage, not because they are strong, but because they cannot tolerate anything they cannot govern or destroy. That is when you realize this is no longer just a difficult person. This is something far darker. There is something deeply unsettling about their presence. You feel it before you can explain it. It is not just what they say or what they do. It is the energy they carry with them. It feels heavy. It feels exhausting. It feels difficult to breathe when they are near. Being around them is like walking through thick mist where your thoughts feel fragmented and your inner strength feels burdened. This is not a coincidence, and it is not just your imagination. When a person has fully delivered themselves over to darkness, their presence alone can injure those around them. You will notice it in how you feel after spending time with them. You may have started the day feeling clear and confident, but after an hour with them, you feel drained, muddled, and emotionally hollow. It is as if they have taken something from you without you even noticing it. That is because narcissists do not rely on words alone to control you. They use energy. They feed off emotional responses. They grow stronger by creating turmoil, tension, and emotional pain. The more you engage with them, the weaker you feel. They surround themselves with an invisible cloud of negativity, creating an environment where peace cannot exist, where clarity vanishes, and where everything feels off. This is not accidental. This is deliberate. The more tired you are, the easier you are to control. The more emotionally depleted you become, the less likely you are to stand up for yourself or walk away. That is why every conversation with them feels like a struggle. That is why every interaction leaves you doubting yourself, doubting reality, and questioning everything you once felt certain about. If you are brave enough to confront them or try to hold them responsible for the chaos they create, watch what happens next. They will not reflect. They will not take responsibility. Instead, they will turn it back on you. They will accuse you of being negative. They will say you are overreacting. They will claim you are the real problem. And before you know it, you are defending yourself, wasting even more energy trying to prove what you already know is true deep down. This is why being around them never feels calm. This is why no matter how much effort you put into fixing the connection, nothing ever improves. They do not want peace. They want control. They want to keep you in a constant state of emotional exhaustion because that is when they have the most influence over you. The longer you stay, the harder it becomes to see clearly. The more drained you feel, the harder it is to leave. But here is what you must understand. You do not owe them your energy. You do not owe them your time. You do not owe them explanations, chances, or endless attempts to repair what they keep breaking. The only way to win this game is to stop playing it. The only way to protect yourself is to recognize the heavy weight they place on your mind and spirit and choose to set it down. When you finally walk away and remove their shadow from your life, something powerful happens. The exhaustion begins to fade. The confusion starts to lift. Your thoughts return. Your strength comes back. And for the first time in a very long time, you can finally breathe again. When you decide to break away from someone who has surrendered their soul to darkness, the battle does not simply end because you walked out the door. You must understand that to a narcissist who has embraced malice, your departure is seen as an act of ultimate rebellion that they cannot allow to go unpunished, because they have traded their humanity for a hollow sense of absolute power. Losing control over you feels like a personal defeat they must rectify through total destruction. This is the moment they transition from being a toxic presence to becoming a dedicated predator. They will not merely let you go, they will attempt to incinerate the ground you stand on. They start by launching a campaign of character assassination that is so calculated and widespread that you will find yourself gasping for air as your reputation is dismantled in real time. They speak to your friends, your family, and your colleagues with a performance of manufactured grief, painting themselves as the heartbroken victim and you as the unstable, abusive, or delusional villain. This is not a random outburst of anger. It is a strategic siege. They use the secrets you once shared in confidence as weapons, twisting your vulnerabilities into evidence of your supposed unreliability. They don't just tell lies, they weave intricate tapestries of deception that are designed to isolate you until you have no one left to turn to. Their goal is to make the world so cold and inhospitable that you feel forced to crawl back to the only person who understands you, the very person who is destroying you. You must realize that their need for power is an addiction that requires constant feeding. When you starve them of your attention, they experience a withdrawal that turns into a cold, focused rage. They may stalk your digital life, use third parties to spy on your progress, or show up in places they know will trigger your fear. They are looking for a crack in your armor, a single moment of weakness where they can reinsert their influence. The energy they exert in this phase is staggering because they have no internal life or peace to return to. They only exist through the reactions they provoke in others. If you give them even a tiny response, an angry text, a defensive explanation, or a tearful plea, you have given them exactly what they want. You have validated that they still have the power to move your emotions. This is why the only effective defense is a complete and total silence that borders on the absolute. You must become a ghost to them. You must vanish from their sphere of influence entirely, not just physically, but energetically. You have to accept the painful truth that some people in your life will believe their lies, and you must be willing to let those people go too. The process of reclaiming your spirit from someone who has tried to devour it is an act of spiritual warfare. You are not just healing from a bad relationship, you are untangling your mind from a web of artificial reality. You will have days where the fog returns and you wonder if you were the problem, or if you were too harsh, or if they might actually change. These thoughts are the lingering echoes of their manipulation, the psychological hooks they planted deep in your subconscious. You must treat these thoughts like intrusive parasites and refuse to nourish them. True freedom only comes when you stop trying to make them understand what they did to you. They already know. They simply do not care. They viewed your pain as a trophy, not a tragedy. As you move further into the light, their shadow will grow more desperate and erratic. They might try a hoovering tactic, suddenly appearing transformed, apologetic, or in some kind of staged crisis that demands your empathy. Do not fall for the masquerade. A person who has crossed the line into intentional cruelty does not find a conscience overnight. It is just another move on the chessboard. Your survival depends on your ability to remain indifferent to their existence. When you reach the point where you no longer hate them but simply feel nothing for them, you have truly won. You are reclaiming the energy they tried to steal and using it to rebuild a life that is no longer defined by their chaos. You are moving from a state of being hunted to a state of being whole, and that is a transition they can never follow you through.